Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Friends, we are continuing the Avijja Ahara Sutta from the Anguttara Nikaya or the Numerical Discourses of the Buddha, because it has many factors that need to be understood. It's really about the dependent origination, but you don't get the same formula as given in the dependent origination. We examine ignorance and its nutrition, that is, the 5 hindrances. Then we studied the nutrition for the hindrances, that is, misconduct. Today we'll study the factor that feeds misconduct, that is, non-restraint of the senses. There are 2 kinds of illness, that is, physical and mental. Even if we are free of physical illness temporarily, because no one can be from birth to death have no illness, there is always some degree of mental illness in the unawakened mind, which is due to greed, hatred, and delusion. They are worldly people called Putujjana by the Buddha. They know only the body, but do not cultivate or develop the mind and heart. They seek and collect pleasure, like a thing, like some commodity or something that you can buy using other beings. That's how they collect pleasure. Such people cannot truly feel and accept others as they are. They find fault with everybody. They live like animals, only for food, sex, and satisfaction. To prevent wrongdoing towards women, the Buddha advises to regard those old enough to be mothers, to mentally regard them as such. Now this advice is given to men, especially because women are the usually victims, not the men. Those old enough to be sisters, to mentally regard them as such. And those old enough to be daughters, to regard them as such. Can you see how Buddha has looked after even people like us, right? You know that we have 6 senses called Salayatana in Pali. They are eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. How do they nourish misconduct? By body, speech, and mind? The body doesn't exist by itself, for physical and mental processes work together. Both mental and physical work together, otherwise they can't activate. Like 2 sheaves of reeds. You remember earlier we had a sutta like that? Leaning on each other, so that if one falls, the other one falls too. The sense stimuli, mental volition, and consciousness nourish these processes. Now, sense stimuli are the objects of the senses. That is, for the eye, any kind of form, whether it is animate or inanimate. For the ear, any kind of sound, and so on, for all the senses. These could be approved or disapproved, and that happens with the mental volitions, thoughts, and consciousness. That's how liking and disliking takes place. The body is the passive partner, whereas the mind controls it. This is the reason for the need of sense restraint. The Buddha says that the opposite of running after these sense desires is right sense control. Actually, the word is not control, sense restraint with mindfulness. We must remember that restraint is not the same as control. When there is non-restraint, seeing a form, hearing a sound, or any other mental phenomena, the one who is not mindful of the body and mind will either be pleased or repelled, for his or her mind is limited and impure. In the Samyutta Nikaya, or the connected discourses of the Buddha, there is a very apt simile. Now, I normally don't take all the similes that are there, but this one is very apt and very good. So I took this for you to remember. If a man catches 6 animals that differ from each other, now like a serpent and a dog are quite different, right? Like that, tie each one by a strong rope and then tie all 6 ropes together with a knot in the middle and leave them to do as they like. Then they would pull in different directions because each one wants to go to the home that they know and need, right? When they are tired, the most dominant one would pull all the rest and go towards its domain, taking all the others also. Thus, the other 5 would be under the control of the dominant one. In the same way, we choose our sensory object, one of them, as our focus, leaving the others aside. For instance, during our free time, now you know every day we have some kind of free time, right? We have many options, but we choose one like watching TV or reading a book, going to the gym, listening to a Dhamma talk, or meditating, etc., etc. Now, I can't tell you all the things that you might choose. Similarly, when one has not developed and cultivated mindfulness, the eye pulls towards agreeable forms, the ear towards sounds, etc., and reject with aversion what is disagreeable. So, it's like the stronger animal pulling the others. When pulled in different directions, how can there be any happiness or peace? Now, that is why many people do not have peace and happiness. So, you can see that getting the desired object or or not involves only suffering. The truth is seen when we keep a close watch over ourselves. That is, because of craving, I want comes in. The I want comes in because of craving. If there is self-restraint, there will be contentment, for one loses the wanting mentality. Now I'm going to tell you an experience that I had. Once I was living in a forest meditation center, and I used to go for long walks alone. One day, while walking, I saw a couple of woodpeckers trying to teach their young ones to fly. They are beautiful birds, as you know. And while walking, I was walking down the road, right? While walking, I kept looking at them far up on the tree. I fell down by stepping on the broken side of the road. Luckily, there were no broken bones, but my foot was very painful. I hobbled back to my kuti, and for many days I couldn't walk about. So a kind woman brought my dana to the kuti. You see, this was done due to non-restraint as well as mindlessness. I wanted to enjoy the sight of the woodpeckers. It was not evil, but quite unnecessary. I learned a lesson. Be aware of the walking, and if looking away, stop there and look. Finish looking and then walk. So that was the lesson I learned. Now, how is restraint practiced? In this instance, this is about how to practice restraint. Now, the earlier one was about non-restraint. Now, this is how to practice restraint. In this instance, the 6 animals, though tied with different strong ropes, would be bound to a strong pillar or post. Then, though the animals would pull in different directions and ultimately be tired, would lie down near the pillar or post. So you can see, when that happens, the animals cannot go away. Similarly, when one has practiced and developed mindfulness, now mindfulness here is the pillar. The eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind will not pull towards the agreeable or be repulsive towards the disagreeable. Now that doesn't mean that as, all ordinary people, we may have likes and dislikes, but that doesn't mean that we have to give in to them, react to them, right? That is what it means. These feelings of attachment and its opposite are in the mind of the doer, not in the object. The object itself is not repulsive, not attractive, right? It's just the object. But people give it that kind of value or quality. The strong post or pillar is another name for mindfulness. The person who is mindful will know what and how to choose with right view. Because a person who is mindful, develop mindfulness, will have right view too, right? So that means that person is going on the correct path, on the Noble Eightfold Path. Right view is the first one, right? In the factor, the first factor. A certain psychological article says, I was reading this article, so I got these ideas there, says that acting mindlessly without consciousness is the practice of normal human beings. For instance, brushing the teeth, doing the chores in the house, bathing, walking, etc. are often done mindlessly. Even our thoughts are unchecked and allowed to go through freely without any disturbance. We just, allow our mind to roam about as it wants. We have no control over the mind. If we do these ordinary everyday actions mindfully, we would give them value and recognition, and our lives would also become more meaningful and relaxed, because we will not do some of the unnecessary things that we normally do. When walking mindlessly, people drag their feet and place them carelessly so that the feet, knees, and hips are stressed out. But if we walk with our feet pointed forward, there would be no stress and the walk would be joyful and without pain. When we allow our thoughts to run freely, we make false judgments about people. That person may have said or done something which he or she did not mean the way we took it, right? We, according to our perception, we judge that person and, plus mark or minus mark. That's what we do. This is due to non-restraint of the senses. If we become more aware of our thoughts and the inner working of the mind, not only will we be in the present moment, but also reach a sense of peace and well-being. Many people rush through the day, trying to do many things at the same time. It's called, I think, multitask, and become stressed and tired by the end of the day. They split their attention between several things at once so that none is given proper attention. You see, that's why sometimes we don't know whether we have put salt into the curry or not. So that we put more or we don't put at all, right? When meditating, if there comes an irritation at the back where it's difficult to reach, we will be suffering until we rub that place. But it's not the body that feels this, but the mind that catches the sensation and causes suffering. Have you ever thought about it like that? Here, the desire for things to be different is the problem. Quite often, without our knowledge, even when we are mindful, our hand would reach out to rub the irritation away. To prevent this, right attention is needed, which can serve as the strong post in the simile. The same may happen with regard to a taste or idea or sound, any of the sensations. To get the best benefits from this practice, we should be vigilant and apply the same discipline to all situations, which is not easy. I understand. What I do is, I take a certain period of time to keep my, mindfulness and non-restraint within that time. And as I go on, I increase. So, then we'll be able to hold our mind before reacting with anger or envy, conceit, or even excitement. Because when something nice happens, we get excited. For the laity, the training in morality is by way of the 5 precepts and sense restraint. This is the restraint by body and speech, so that our external environment would be wholesome and we would be able to live harmoniously with others. Then we don't, use harsh words or insult or abuse other people or carry tales or lie, or, we don't do all those things if we are careful. This is the way to gain wisdom. I'm sure all of you like to gain wisdom, don't you? Even for lay people, this restraint will prevent bad karma from arising at the sense doors when we do not grasp at the signs and features, however attractive a figure may be. Then we could follow the advice of the Buddha to be like a deaf, dumb, and blind person. The Buddha says to be like that. We hear less, see less, smell less, touch less, and think less. Now see, what a burden all these things are. So we will be unburdened. For monastics, celibacy is one of the precepts because one's total energy could be directed towards mental development. We could give up certain pleasures not because we have to, but because they go against our principles by using restraint against temptation. When we develop a sense of priorities, we'll be able to let go of the less wholesome pleasures. The Buddha says, by giving up a lesser happiness, if one could gain a greater one, let the wise person give up the lesser by regarding the greater happiness. It's in the Dhammapada. This is a way of unburdening too. When we develop this quality on the external level, it could even lead to giving up attachment on the internal level also. An ideal Buddhist is one with a healthy mind in a healthy body. I think there is another verse in the Gatha, in the Dhammapada, which starts with, how does it go? When I remember, I will tell you again. The body is not evil. It can be our instrument for gaining stream entry or even higher attainments. The Buddha says, Kicho manussa patilabo. Rare is the birth as a human being. You don't know how difficult it is to become a human being. Once Buddha took a little bit of sand or earth onto his nail and showed the monks and asked them, what do you think, monks? Do you think this sand or earth on my nail is bigger than what is on the earth? The monk said, no, no, Lord, we think that the earth has much more, much more. Then the Buddha said, you know, people who are here now to be again born as a human being is like this little bit of sand. Another time he took one fistful of leaves and used the same simile about human beings' birth in the, after death. Because people think that it's so easy, but it is not. If we do not restrain our senses, after death, our consciousness may take us to a low rebirth according to how we have used our sense faculties in this existence. Right? So that is my Sutta discussion for today. If you have any questions, please ask. No? Not a single question? Then we'll do a little meditation. Please sit down properly for your meditation. That is with your head and neck on your spinal cord and your back straight. If you like, you can keep your hands in front on your knees, whatever way you like. And if you're seated on a chair, it's okay. We'll do the metta meditation today. Before we start the meditation, please take a few deep breaths. Right? May I be well, happy, and peaceful. May I be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to me. May no harm come to me. May I always meet with spiritual success. May I always meet with spiritual success. May I also have patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems, and failures in life. May I also have patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems, and failures in life. May my parents and teachers be well, happy, and peaceful. May my parents and teachers be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no harm come to them. May they always meet with spiritual success. May they always meet with spiritual success. May they also have patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems, and failures in life. May they also have patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems, and failures in life. May my relatives and friends be well, happy, and peaceful. May my relatives and friends be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no harm come to them. May they also have patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems, and failures in life. May all neutral people like mailmen and people in the office, maybe people that we meet on the road, all neutral people, be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May they always meet with spiritual success. May they also have patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems, and failures in life. May all unfriendly people, we may have some people who have irritated us or whom we have irritated, be well, happy, and peaceful. Let us wish for them too. May no harm come to them. May they always meet with spiritual success. May they also have patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems, and failures in life. May all living beings, living near or far, visible or invisible, born or coming to birth, whatever living beings there are, may all be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May they always meet with spiritual success. May they also have patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems, and failures in life.